Cool. All right, so I am now streaming. I believe everyone can hear me. All right, so I am now streaming. Yeah,
Woohoo!
everyone can hear me. That's great. All right, hello everyone. I'm Ren. Welcome to Ren Stream. Um, with me is the always with me is Guy. Say hello, Guy.
Fellow Americans.
And with me, very super special guest actually. Very happy to have him. The iconic Murrlogic.
Hello, everybody.
That's so cool. Hi, Murrlogic.
Wow.
Yeah, and for anyone who, for some reason, doesn't know, which I'm sure you do, he's the Wonder Bread guy. We've established this throughout the decades. You know him.
You drew me a very wonderful art piece literally a week ago, and suddenly now I'm on your show.
Yeah, that's how fast I like to move.
Yeah.
I'm not very.
Geez, that's how networking tends to work. You know a guy who knows a guy, and then suddenly you're friends.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I have something for you.
You do?
Yes.
A present?
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually, we stream with another person named Good Draws, who sadly couldn't be here today, but he wanted me to provide you with another drawing.
Oh, did he now?
Yes, he did. However, it's not exactly. Maybe it's not your type because it's not a white woman. But I'll post it in the. I'll DM it to you, and I'll have it up on the stream right now as well.
Okay.
So here you go. It's deforestation, but it is a brown lady though. I hope that's okay.
Does this character have a name?
I have no idea. I have no clue.
Usually when people make OCs, they give them names. If you want, I can give this one a name.
I think it does have a name.
Yeah, give it a name.
But yeah, please give it a name.
No, give it a name.
Her character model reminds me a lot of the character Queen La from the Tarzan, the animated series, so I think we're just going to call her La.
La. I like
Yeah.
that.
Blah.
I like that a lot. That fits really
Yeah.
well.
It fits.
La.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that out of here.
But tell your friend the gift was very thankful of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
Yes.
Well, you've already
I
got some
appreciate
people
the new
drawing
name
for
as
you.
well.
If you can, yeah, people are already drawing stuff for you.
They're doing a very, very, very nice job.
Yeah. Now, I have a question. It's been
Okay.
a very long time of you doing this. Are you getting sick of it at all? You know?
Of
like
what?
the same
Commissioning things?
like the supermarket, walking through collecting the Wonder Bread stuff. Or is that always going to be around, you think, for you?
I feel like it's like a trademark brand. I feel like if I ever do anything like major in regards to like a big project, I have to involve Wonder Bread or white bread in some way because that's like your fucking MO. Like how most episodes of Smiling Friends, the episodes are loosely based off of like Zach and Tomar conversations.
Yeah.
You go into any like live thread where they're watching the episode, and you'll have one guy going, "This is literally just a Tomar conversation they had the other week, and suddenly it's been made into an episode." Omar, what would you do if a funny little Gwibbly man was running into the forest and he punched you in the balls? What would you do, Tomar? Well, first off, I want to know why the hell I'm wandering in the forest, and why does this Gwibbly hate me so much? It's a Gwibbly. It hates you because it exists.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly. I love Oni Plays, and I love Smiling Friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obligatory. I love smiling friends. Yeah, there
Yeah,
we go.
every stream I have to
Got
say
it.
that. Yeah. Yeah. I believe you have something very special for us as well. You have a comic. You wanted to talk
Oh,
about.
yes. So there's this man. His name is Johnny Rockets. He is the creator of a comic called Maniac. It is up on Indiegogo right now. It will only be up until midnight tonight. He would very much like for you to read his comic and get the comic, and it's up on Indiegogo right now. And the moment you go there, the moment you can get your hands on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I have it open
Yeah.
right now on the stream.
Free?
Yeah, right up on his Indiegogo. You just go right up there and let Johnny help you get yourself a copy of it. He sent me a copy last night. It was very nice of him.
Holy freaking moly! This is awesome.
It's very generous to give it out for free.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah. You. I find that it's more successful to give things out for free than to charge money for them, especially as an amateur. You know,
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
starting out.
When I get around to making a project with Johnny and Schizo Sean, I'm not going to charge a single thing for it because I'm not really all that interested in the idea of wanting to sell the comic. I feel like the only reason why I want to make this comic is because I'm known for predominantly just making things that people are well versed in knowing that I would commission. I've never really made anything sincere before. Now, there will be some references to white bread in some regard in regards to that, but Johnny, Dick Masterson's friend, went over to me a couple of weeks ago and thought, Mary, have you ever thought about wanting to make something sincere? You know, something genuine you made passionately from the heart that only you would appreciate? Like, literally every day. But since you brought it up, I will do it for you. As soon as I get a team together, I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah,
Huh.
absolutely.
Goodness.
That's cool. That the way that was phrased sounds almost like an insult. Like, have you ever thought of doing something genuine? You know, like something real. But
Johnny, yeah, Johnny is currently Hollywood bound right now. He knows this guy named Randy. I'm not sure who this Randy person is. He doesn't really elaborate in regards to that. He says Randy's like this big Hollywood hotshot, 80s guy, fucking wears a business suit. And he was like, Murr, if you make something actually genuine that, me and Dick would like, I could give that screenplay over to him, and then, we could start talking bigger than that. And well, that's usually how, like, every Hollywood story starts, because, you got a guy who's, like, washing dishes in, like, some shithole part of L.A., like, deepest, like, recess armpit of East L.A., and he's gonna be like, one day they're gonna take one of my screenplay, and I'm gonna get out of this fucking kitchen, and it literally never happens. Because
yeah,
modern Hollywood is basically just like, we give you a screenplay, they never read it, they don't even like the fact that it's touching their fucking hands, and they just throw it in a room full of other unread screenplays. In fact, my working theory as to why Hollywood is so pro-AI lately is because all of the nepotism that is in LA currently is so sick of people even bothering giving them elevator pitches that with AI will be the thing that gives them the elevator pitches. So it's an elevator pitch that it gives themselves. And not a person giving them an elevator pitch. Literally just a prompt, and then an elevator pitch just pops itself out. Like a ticket at the fair. Be like, great, now we don't have to actually pay for that idea, because all that money just loops back to us. Because, with AI, we don't have to take other people's ideas. We can just create every stupid idea that we would normally want, and then immediately put it out in the public. Will the people care? No. But you know what? They don't have a choice, because we're not taking elevator pitches from them anymore. We'll completely destroy the very foundation of Hollywood? Again, yes. But we're already off on the mask-off situation in regards to Hollywood right now, so who cares what they think?
whoa, you have a
All
lot of
nepotism.
opinions on Hollywood. I didn't know this. This is. I didn't even know
Shit.
about the whole AI
Preach,
thing.
brother.
All I knew was like,
Yeah.
I think regarding AI, I wanted to ask you about that as well, because
Yeah.
for someone who's like been around and like commissioned a ton of people, I think your use of AI. At first, I was like, oh man, he's using AI, but I think
Yeah.
you kind of need to now, because otherwise you'd be in massive debt, right?
I should point out in regards to my casual use of AI, and it's entirely casual, AI has not gotten in any way better in regards to certain aspects of what I look for. I mean, I'm always going to want commission artists because AI goes through these weird stop gaps where it stagnates every now and then, and it shows like no real improvement. The only like light improvement I ever recently saw was when Google released something called Google VO, and I was playing around with that. Google VO is probably the funniest, but still coincidentally like the worst thing. It's so bad, it's amazing. Because I end up making stuff like this. And I look at it and I start laughing, going like, man, this is the kind of stuff that I would try to make, with actual Hollywood budgets. But VO, if you look real closely in regards to stuff with VO, like you can already see like the handicaps. But it's still way better than just like AIing an image. Because with AIing an image, you always have these circumstances that never really seem to improve. I mentioned the stop gaps. You ever needed to know if you're looking at AI, you got to look at two facets. It's usually the eyes or the hands, because gone are the days when the only AI software in town was DALL-E, and people were using it to make dumb shit like, oh, here's Will Smith eating spaghetti with his hands.
Yeah, I
Here's
love
Donald
that.
Trump walking into the ocean talking to squid people.
I love
And,
that.
people were using fucking DALL-E for shit like that. It was hilarious. And then when it started becoming more aware that AI takes art from like other references, which other people's stuff, people started to rightfully get angry about that. And they have every right to be angry about that. But I feel like in a cosmic sense, it worked itself out because over time, There was so much AI slop out there that it wasn't borrowing from people's stuff anymore. It was borrowing from already pre-made AI. So in the early aspects, because, they had the right to be angry about this, I don't like my art being used to make slop. But, in a cosmic sense, when that art that was used as reference to make that AI, now that AI is no longer going to be borrowing stuff from you anymore. It's going to be borrowing from the AI it borrowed from something else. So what the AI is doing in regards to that is that it's getting progressively worse. Because it was already bad because, it's in its pre-stages, but when all AI has to borrow from is reference from other AI, the AI never evolves, and then in turn makes AI less marketable. The reason why AI is so bad now is for a number of different reasons, but this is the number one thing. One, it's not growing, and two, it's now borrowing reference from itself. It's like an endless feedback loop of shit. Imagine a hill that's just soaked to shit and diarrhea, and it's flowing downward. You try to run up it, and you keep slipping and falling.
I love that.
Sisyphus is pushing the rock up the hill, but it's a diarrhea full of shit. That's the AI.
That's
Now,
beautiful.
Vio's hilarious because, again, I'm a creature of habit. I like making dumb shit like this because, it's the closest thing AI's done recently. But in regards to that, the limit is that it can only make things up to 8 seconds. And when it was free, it was only free for 2 days. When you want to go out and pay for Vio, your ass has to pay $800 for this. I'm like, no. $800 on my end is like 3 months worth of rent. I don't care how badly I want to make gleefully excited businesswoman destroying nature. I got to factor in, what's more important to me, paying my landlord every month before he breaks my legs, or buying really like mid novelty AI. And that's why I don't really commission all that much anymore. I got a few people I still commission from. We're on fixed rates in regards to that. But gone are the days where I would just go to random people and they'd be like, "Hey, can I get some money off of you?" Coming to me like a loan shark. It's like, "I'll give you bread, man. I just need a little bit of money." Those days are long gone, like far, far gone in between.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And
the economy.
Yeah.
The economy is the worst it's ever been since the '08 recession.
Absolutely. I blame Obama, I blame Joe Biden, and I blame Trump. What other presidents were there? Bush.
Yeah.
Anyway, I actually was thinking about this too, right? It's really funny that you use AI now because it's almost a little meta, right? Because I always hear about how like AI is destroying like the forests and like the world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's part of what you like. Like I can imagine if like there was like a beautiful blonde woman using AI to generate herself eating white bread, that would be amazing, right?
Yeah. But no, my use of AI is entirely casual because I feel like it doesn't really hurt anybody. Yeah, the artists that usually get upset over the fact it's like, that's borrowing art from me. I'm like, yes, you have every right to be mad about that. I'm very sorry that it ends up doing that. It's an unintentional side effect in regards to using AI. On the other hand, I feel like just casually using AI just to fuck around with it doesn't really hurt anybody. If it makes that artist any better, his art's probably really fucking amazing, and if I had the money, I would commission from him. But, using AI for the purpose of, like, trying to grift money, that is a real issue to actually be upset about. You should never want to use AI slop to try and make money. You look at modern YouTube right now, and it's been really focused on wanting to use AI thumbnails, which
Dude,
has been
I
like
see
a
that
massive
all the
problem.
time. Yeah. That sucks.
I've been fooled. I've been fooled a couple times.
Yeah, AI thumbnails and like fake trailers now for like Superman versus Goku,
Yeah.
and it gets me every single time.
But yeah, it all ties back to the whole YouTube Kids stuff, where before Susan What's-Her-Face ended up dying
Is there
that
a
one
fire
day.
in your house
you
right
know,
now? What's that alarm?
I am so fucking sorry. My roommates are cooking something right now. I actually want to punch a hole through my
motherfuckers.
fucking wall because you guys heard that. I ended up having to open like 4 windows right now. But yeah, you roll with the punches. That's gonna end up on the vocal feed. I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
I posted on Twitter for people to ask you questions, right? But you did a really good job of answering most of them yourself.
Yeah.
However, one question did come to mind that I really wanted to ask you is, have you ever tried using the VR stuff at all?
No, I don't have an Oculus Rift. I don't have any of those VR headsets.
Right. Does that interest you in any way? Like trying that out one day, if you had the resources for it?
when I lived at my old apartment complex, which was a raging sack of shit, I knew a lot of people there who were struggling to pay rent, but I knew one guy who somehow, don't ask me fucking how, got his hands on an Oculus Rift, like an $1,000 VR headset. I'm like, bro, you're barely making by every day, and you somehow go, would you steal that? It's like, no, bro, listen, VR is great. You should try this. I mean, I didn't, because, I don't want to walk into a wall because I'm looking at what looks to be PS1 fucking era CG walking around and all that shit.
Right.
That's another thing. AI is not the only thing that's not AI is not the only thing that's not adapting fast enough. VR shit also feels like it's hit a wall. Gone are the days where people get optimistic, where they watch a AAA Hollywood movie and they get grifted by the movie thing, and this is what all AI is going to be. The Matrix leaves a very poor representation of what VR is actually like. Because, like with AI, it's a novelty. You go around, you play with it, and then you realize the limitations of it. Because, when people think actual VR, they want, like, augmented reality. They want the feeling of having it so your imagination is literally hooked up to a machine. Like, Tech Priest Warhammer style shit. And,
Right.
You just think of something and boom, it materializes. That kind of shit is unfeasible. Like, even now, with Google Veo and all its fucking flaws, it's like the first like real attempt at like trying to bring something like that to life, but it's still in its limitation stages. Like, we're at a two-way street now where, like, one, Earth will not be around long enough for it to ever reach that point, and two, if it does reach that point, it's not going to be for the poor. Fuck no, are you kidding? No, the rich will keep that all to themselves. There's another reason why I feel like AI doesn't really evolve fast enough, is because I feel like the rich have, like, no standard of quality whatsoever, to where, since they live such, like, lavish material lives, they look at, like, AI, but they don't really, like, look at it the way you go to, like, a museum and you look at a painting. You look at movies like Ferris Bueller, where they go to the museum and they have that scene where they're all just looking at paintings, not really saying anything, they're just living in the moment, just staring at all the paintings, just mesmerizing and all that stuff. Rich people don't do that. Rich people go to museums to give money for shit that's not worthy in being a museum, because they want to give a generous donation in the form of a bribe, but not calling it a bribe,
Absolutely.
where their money leaves their hand into their pocket. So that museum, which is a front for money, ends up just being there.
Yeah, to the Kill Babies Fund. Yeah, I've heard of this.
Yeah, but augmented reality. It's cool in theory. It's like a nice fictional thing to think about, but it's mostly fiction.
Well, I don't know,
love-
man. I've seen a lot of really crazy like VR chat stuff where it looks pretty good. I mean, it's like janky because like a girl will move her arm and it'll break, but I could see it getting really, really cool. Like VR porn and stuff like that. That's gonna be freaking awesome when I'm like 62 and can't get an erection anymore. But it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, you don't think so?
Kids of that generation.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad because I was born too early to get like the really good, like the good stuff, Like, I can imagine in like I said, 20, 30 years from now, when someone's like 20, then they're going to be living in paradise, It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, literal fucking Elysium kind of shit.
Yeah, like little Murrlogic Jr. is going to have the world at his, like all of the internet as his oyster. It's going to be great for him.
My friend A4 is currently drawing there. He's the one who goes by Junk Food Extreme. He's the one drawing the asana all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. Hi, A4.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Oh, I think I see, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
there
right
it is.
there.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Shout out to A4. You're a real cool guy.
Yes.
Oh, I like this
But yeah, so how you guys been? What's your week been?
It's been really good. How have you been, Guy?
Great, my sink's busted. I recently found... I've learned more about sinks in a week than I have in the 31 years I've been fucking alive on this plane of existence. I learned that sinks have this fucking thing in them called inlets. Is this retarded fucking hose thing at the bottom of the sink, and what it does is that it switches the water pressure from hot to lukewarm to cold. And what ended up happening was the hot water side got a hole. So when you set the sink to hot, it leaks. But when you set it to cold or lukewarm, it doesn't leak at all. What's frustrating about this is that, oh, well, this is a very simple fix. I'm going to go into Home Depot, I'm going to get a new inlet. No. Modern sinks have inlets that are built in to the fucking sink. I go into Home Depot, they're like, one, we don't have the make and model of your sink, and two, even if we did have the make and model of your sink, inlets cannot be removed. Gone are the days where you could just like take a part out and replace it with a different thing. The faucet works fine. The inlet has a small hole in it. This hole is no bigger than the tip of a pencil, and it's leaking like a spit take's worth of water. All I wanted to do was walk in and get a brand new inlet. I can't do that. I gotta rip the whole fucking faucet out of my countertop.
No.
Yeah, so my landlord's coming here tomorrow. I'm gonna break his fucking legs. He's gonna fix my fucking sink.
Yeah. Hope there's no mold. Hope you're not breathing in any mold or anything like that. That'd be fucking terrible.
No, thank God we caught this before we actually found out that this was like making mold. So we got like a gallon-sized empty bottle of water underneath it. It's gonna take a while for that thing to fill up because it's a gallon jug. But even still,
yeah.
The fact that we brought in the landlord the first time, he took one look at that hole, was like literally just put a piece of gum on it. I'm like, you did not just fucking say that to me. We're not putting gum on a hole.
No.
You know when you fix my inlet is like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Gone are the days where we put gum on mold. No, we're not doing that anymore. That's past. No asbestos, no gum.
I lived in a crack den for 10 years. I'm not doing that in my current house. You're fixing the sink.
Whoa.
The last place I lived at, I had no hot running water for a year and a half. On the 10-year anniversary that I was going to leave, the pipes exploded. Time is a flat circle. I moved into that place when there was no hot running water. I left that place when all the hot running water stopped running.
Well, what the hell?
God's funny that way. Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
There was something else I wanted to ask you to get away from the sink talk. While that is interesting, I have a ton of burning questions for you.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, I don't know if you'd remember this, but you, as I understand it, you commissioned Shadman and were denied. Is that true?
Yeah.
How does it feel to outlive him now? Because he's gone,
Well,
and you still stand. All these years later.
Yeah, crackhead now.
Yeah. A lot of people are gone. I don't really tend to talk about it because I feel like it's rude to feel bad for other people and having their misfortunes.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to be that guy that starts beef with other people, so I tend to just not think about it.
That's great.
Yeah. It was literally just a no and a one. Yeah, just move on from it.
That was a test. Yeah, that was a test, and you passed. That's really good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent work. Okay, Guy, do you have a question for Murrlogic? I don't want to hog the space here.
Question for Murrlogic.
Yeah, anything you want. Anything at all.
Let me think. Has anyone ever recognized you? I guess no, I don't know if your face is out there or not, but you've been on a couple of interviews, right?
Yeah.
People have heard your voice.
Yeah.
They see you down that bread aisle. Maybe I don't know, cashiers cashing you out.
You make it seem like people are going to Safeway and they're making Satan pentagrams with Wonder Bread, just making the base. First they make a big circle of it, and they try to spread it out a bit so it tries to make the Star of David. Then they start speaking in tongues, and all of a sudden I just materialize like that scene from Hellraiser 1 where the drop of blood falls into the ceiling, and they have that claymation sequence while Hellraiser just materializes his body and just starts screaming incoherently.
Yeah. Does that ever happen to you?
I would love that if that actually did happen. I'd go to Safeway way more.
You're making it seem like it's an Eric Andre skit where they brought in Tyler the Creator, and Tyler, who was already well aware of Eric's bullshit, was like, no, I'm not going to have Eric try to out-weird me. I'm Tyler the motherfucking Creator. I'm going to out-weird him, and it worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. But, yeah, I guess no one has noticed you, right? Because your face isn't really out there, I imagine you don't really go around advertising this in the real world,
I'm basically retired from shitposting. I'm over that part now.
Yeah.
I
figured.
I went to Dick Masterson's show, and I was telling him I was in a real rough patch after the pandemic was over. I was telling him about how that man saved my life, and while he'll never really grasp what I meant by that, the only reason why I am either not homeless or dead in the street is because of that man. And I feel like I can never really truly hate Dick for any reason at all, because, how can you hate the guy who saves your life?
Absolutely. Shout out to Dick Masterson. Woo! All right. Yeah. No, he's... That's really great. How did he? Can you tell me? Could you go into that or no? Is that more private? Because he kind of.
So I was living in a horrible fucking living situation for about 10 years now.
Right.
There is an age gap in regards to those places that I was living at. The max age that you could be living there was around 24, 25 being like the maximum cutoff point.
Sure.
And while I'd already lived there for about 5 years, and as the day of my, oh yeah, we got to start giving you your 30-day notice now, you're too old to live here. Well, a cough heard around the world kind of told everybody to not go outside for 4 years. And well, my landlord was like, well, since we're all under lockdown, it's your lucky day. Until lockdown is over, you still technically live here. And then lockdown lasted for another 4 fucking years. I already went through my 5-year period at this place. And then the pandemic happened. They're like, oh, well, we can't have you leave because, that would make us look bad and you'd have nowhere to go. And people are told to stay in their houses. So I then ended up living there for another 4 years. So I ended up living there for about 9 years. Like 4 years long past that expiration date. Because people were thinking like COVID would just go on forever and things would just get increasingly worse.
Yep.
You see,
I remember that.
I'm weirdly nostalgic for COVID, not for any like practical reasons, but because it was during COVID that people just stopped paying rent altogether because landlords did not want to actually touch anything that was touched by another human being. And you want to know the fastest way for germs to catch is if you have a rent check in your hand and it's touched by someone else, then you touch that under the rent check and all of a sudden you're worried that you're going to start, having fever sweats, you're coughing a lot, you start shitting and vomiting both at the same time. So I didn't have to pay rent for like 4 years. Nobody did. And it was great. Yeah, but, after 4 years, landlords, they're being like, I don't like the fact that it's been 4 years. I don't make any fucking money. And any of the people who are barely paying me rent at all are not paying rent in general. I'm like, hey, you not giving us rent was your idea, dude, because you didn't want to get sick.
Dracula
so 4 years in, the
fucking
landlord was like, no, you need to start paying us money.
I need more blood. I need blood. I need it. you know?
I once knew a guy where he was looking for a place to live. And the landlord got so desperate, it's like, buddy, I'm going to make you a deal that I would normally not make you under any circumstances. I will give you a security deposit for no more than $200. And in the state of California, that's a fucking steal. You wouldn't think it'd be, but, it's what it is. And he took that offer. And this was back when landlords were being like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I value money before I value the health of my being or anyone else's being. So I'm going to get those fucking rent checks. The grace period is fucking over. This COVID shit needs to end. And that's basically what happened because, landlords stopped caring. Everybody stopped caring. Yeah. They stopped caring of whether or not you got vaccinated. They stopped caring whether or not you got a boost. They went over, it's like, buddy, where's my rent check? I'm like, I haven't paid you rent in like 4 years. You told me you didn't want to touch anything that was touched by me. He's like, well, yeah, well, now, but rent's due. Because you remember after COVID ended, the economy capsized. It was like the redoing of the '08 recession plus the Titanic combined together. Shit started getting more expensive. Inflation in the state of California sucks worse than it's ever fucking been. I pay something called the "Lol, you live in California" Lamau tax.
Yeah, why the fuck do you live in California?
Of living in California. What?
Why do you live in California? It sounds like a terrible...
No one willingly lives in California. They exist in California because God rolled hoping to get a nat 20, and he rolled a 1, and that run on the fucking dice was called California. That's how I ended up in California. I was born here. I lived in California for 31 years.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So you're 31?
Yes. There goes my age question.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're peers. I'm 30, dude. That's awesome.
Whoa. The big 3-0 club.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. How was that for you, by the way? How was turning 30? Was that a big change for you?
Let's see. What did I do when I turned 30? I went go-karting. I went to Scandia. I went go-karting. I hung out with friends. Oh. I ended up coming in last place both times we went go-karting. I tried to do D&D. I got winded. You ever watched a fat man do D&D? It's hilarious. It's like funny. It's like America's Funniest Home Videos tier. You get on that fucking stop machine and you try to stamp on the ground and you end up start getting winded. I'm like Tony Soprano after he saw the Uncle Ben rice. I just immediately
Whoa.
Well, fat people are either the best or the worst.
Yeah. At D&D, yeah. You're right. That's so cool. Oh, man. That's really awesome. Well, I'm glad you had a good 30th birthday, you know? I wish you a good 40.
Yeah.
Hope you make it that far.
I don't even know if the human race can last until 2030, and we're barely struggling by.
Oh,
How's the overall state of the world where you guys live right now? Because California, you know, it deservingly so is referred to as the shittiest place in the United States. But maybe your guys' states are a hell of a lot better than mine right now.
Wait, just for a point of clarification, someone in the chat says, did you mean DDR instead of D&D?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get those mixed up. All those. Yeah. Brain fart.
I was sitting there like, how the fuck are you getting winded playing D&D? But okay.
Fucking D to D's nuts. Yeah.
But you know, it's not the worst where I live. I live in Pennsylvania. So I think it's above California, but where I live, not by much. You know. I live in Philly, in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe you've seen stuff about Philadelphia on the news and like, or just
yeah.
You know.
I know whenever your guys' sports team wins, you go into a riot, and whenever your sports team loses, you go into a worse riot.
Dude, when we won when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, there was for some reason some like insane fan went outside and ate horse shit because we won. He went outside and just started eating like shit among a crowd, like as a celebration. I don't know what's wrong with the people here. They're insane.
Have you ever watched a show called Clone High?
Yeah, yeah.
There's an episode of Clone High where they make fun of people after they, have their sports team either wins or loses. The Clone High team ends up winning, and then one guy's like, "Let's have a riot to show how fucking excited we won." They just destroy the whole school. Slugworth's like, "Flip that bitch."
Yeah. Oh man. Guy, where do you live? Do you want to say, Guy? I know you're a private man.
I do. I live in Texas. It's hot.
Oh,
That's about it.
I got a whole bunch of people who live in Texas. I heard you guys randomly get like snowstorms where you guys enter like a micro ice age, which I find weird because I always presume Texas is a desert. It's either a desert or king of the... Yeah.
Well, Texas is like, it's very wide. It goes into a lot of places. So there's a lot of desert, but there's also a lot of grass, like a lot of grass, a lot of marsh. But recently we've had pretty bad snowstorms, pretty bad blizzards. The Texas population's not ready for it. Anytime there's like any ice on the snow.
King of the Hill had like a whole ass episode about that. It's like Texas people are not meant to be in the cold. Anytime it snows, we freak out.
Yeah.
It's true because everyone's car is like two-wheel drive or whatever, like, so we just anytime there's like ice, we spin out and crash and burn and a family's lost.
There's this area up where I live. It's called Truckee. I remember one time when my grandfather was still alive, he wanted to go buy handgun ammo because there was this law at the time where you couldn't legally buy handgun ammo of a specific type in the state of California. But the loophole behind that was it was illegal to buy, but it was not illegal to own. So if you had it, you had to make sure it had a receipt from an area that wasn't specifically from California. So when he figured out this loophole, it's like, we're going to Truckee. I'm like, why? I'm going to go buy handgun bullets. Because, it's my God-given American right to go buy handguns. So we got in the car, and we got in the truck, and we drove 6 hours to Truckee. Have you ever been to Truckee? It is a very dangerous drive. What ends up happening is that you get to this very narrow stretch of road, right? And when you're there, there's all these big-ass logging trucks or whatever, and they just squeeze in between you. And it's the most claustrophobic shit imaginable. You actively fear for your life because one fuck up, suddenly you're going to replicate that scene from Final Destination 2 where one of those logs falls off the truck, goes right through your fucking windshield, kills you both. Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. Oh my gosh. I think like everyone else who saw that fucking movie, that like gives me chills. Like anytime I'm like, it barely happens, but whenever I am near one of those log trucks, I always think it's over. That's it. I'm dead.
Yeah. For me, the scariest scene in any Final Destination movie was a combination of either the scene at the gym where the black guy's roid raging and all of a sudden his workout machine like crushes his head, or the other scene where the two girls are sunbathing and they get trapped because their fucking smoothie caused like a wiring outlet problem they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb bitches. No.
It did scare roller coaster rides for me.
Yeah.
Those
Oh yeah.
Final Destination movies, yeah.
There were
So,
a grand total of 3 good Final Destination movies, and it was the first 3. You never needed to watch anything else after that. Kind of like how there's like 1,000 Saw movies, and the only good ones are the first 2.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I think only the first one.
it's true.
You know, I really love that twist at the end
Ooh.
where he's like sleeping. it's really
The second
fun.
one
Yeah.
is like stupidly convoluted,
yeah.
but I do like it.
Horror movies, when the more they enter franchise status, end up just going down a route where everything starts to become stupid and retarded. I remember people hated Halloween 3 because it had nothing to do with Michael Myers. And then the director was like, well, this was never originally intended to be a Halloween movie, but we had to put the Halloween logo on it. Which is weird because the only reference to the Halloween series that movie has is that one guy's watching Halloween 1 in the background. But then they try to tie back to that. It's like, Michael Myers isn't just a very vindictive serial killer. No, he's the embodiment of just the need to kill women. Because most of the people that Michael Myers tend to target is women. You know, he'll occasionally kill guys.
Yeah.
But he's mostly just trying to kill people like his mom, his sister, his niece.
It's
You know,
relatable in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Is really hard to watch.
He's our guy.
Yeah. The Rob Zombie version of Halloween is really hard to watch because they turn Michael into a tragic byproduct of like a horrible fucking state of mind where he has this urge to kill people. No, they turn him into this white trash, like dumb fuck from a broken family. Like they really leaned into it. It's like, no, I don't need a reason for Michael Myers to be evil. He just is, okay? You know, you need a villain. He's the guy. He pulled the short straw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. Isn't he called like officially like in the movies? He's named like the Blur or some. Isn't that right, guy? He's got like some stupid name like that.
I really wouldn't fucking know. I'm in the belief that there are only 2 good Halloween movies. 3 good Halloween movies. It's 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Rob Zombie one though. Maybe it's because like I saw it when I was younger, but I really liked it. I know that's like sacrilegious to say, but it was fun. I like stuff like that.
I remember when I was young and stupid, I used to think
The
that stuff like Scream and like Slither were actual horror movies, and then I found out later they're actually horror comedy movies, because that's what it says on the fucking box. When you're 5 years old, when you're 5 years old and you look at a serial killer killing people, it's like, oh yeah, you know, this is a horror movie. I shouldn't be watching this, yet I am. Then you watch it later and you realize that Scream's supposed to be a deconstruction of slasher movies.
Right.
Because, you know, Scary Movie, you know, the series that makes fun of other movies, they make fun of Scream for being a parody of slasher movies. So, Scary Movie is supposed to be a parody of parodies of slasher movies.
I felt the same way about Tremors when I saw it. And I was like, this is scary.
I fucking love Tremors. Oh, man. Kevin Bacon is the most ungrateful sack of shit ever. His whole bit when he was working that movie was like, I was in a really bad time in my life. I deserve to be in, like, good Hollywood AAA shit. Here I am, fucking underground worms and shit. So that's why I didn't appear in any of the other fucking movies. I know what Kevin Bacon's probably doing now? Nothing.
Yeah.
Fuck all, nothing. Because the series wasn't about him anymore. It was about that one dude. That one awesome dude who collects all the guns. Yeah.
Oh, I like that guy, though. I think he's a better lead.
Yeah. I am completely out of ammo. It's never happened to me before. But no, I love Tremors. Tremors is great. 1, 2, and 4 are the best Tremors movies.
Yeah. I agree with you. Oh, there was a question here. Why? This comes from Mondays Weekly on Twitter. Why?
Mondays.
Oh, you know him. You know this guy. Okay.
Mondays is my best friend.
Why does he love cute tomboys so much?
Alright, so the reason why he asks that is because A4 and Mondays and everybody in our friend group, they're all tomboy lovers. And one common thing that I like to do in regards to all of my pitches is that if I'm going to make the blonde woman the main antagonist of the projects that I work on, well, she needs a counter equal to that. And usually that counter equal is always like a sporty tomboy that fits every tomboy stereotype you ever see. You know, the very active kind, you know, they take, you know, jogs through nature. You know, they live modestly. They live the full Ted K life without going too crazy about it. You know, they live modestly. They have their own garden. They grow their own vegetables. They eat organically. You know, if they gotta drive something. They're gonna drive like an organic car, or if anything like that, they're gonna ride a bike because it's even more eco-friendly from that. Because it counterbalances itself. The villain is the main character, so by that logic, she's supposed to be the protagonist. But the actual protagonist is the one who's trying to stop the main character, that being the tomboy. I like to portray tomboys as the heroes as the stories, but since the perspective of all these comics are in regards to these blonde women, the antagonist is playing the role of the protagonist. So, naturally, you're supposed to want to side with the tomboy because, you don't want to side with the bad person.
Yep.
But gradually, when people like villains for certain aspects of it, for whatever reason or whatever, they side with them. Lately, I feel like with Hollywood, people just really want to, lean deep into the idea of making heroes a bit like a character prompt. That character prompt doesn't really, vibe with people all that well.
Sure.
They're wondering, why can't we market our heroes better? It's almost as if you live in a broken society where people would rather side with the heroes because you live in a broken society where people would rather side with the villains because the villains, they're very concrete with what they want to believe. It's objectively in the wrong, depending upon who you ask as to what they want to do, but they still side with them. I'll take an easy example. Take Star Wars, for instance. With Star Wars, people like the Republic because, they got a whole bunch of people and, they go and just fight planets or whatever. In, the prequel trilogy where it was just, the clones or whatever, they would go out and shit. And, they would go fight droids where it was like, oh, these fucking clankers are going to blow them all up. Then when the fucking clones were replaced with the stormtroopers, they're bad people. But you still have people rooting for the stormtroopers for whatever reason. And then over time, they tried to make the stormtroopers more cartoonishly more fucking evil. But then out of, spite or whatever, he was like, no, I still prefer the stormtroopers.
Dude, they just look cool.
All fucking day. Yeah.
They look awesome.
People like the aesthetics of villains. That's why they side with them.
Yeah.
If they have a belief system that they believe in, then they side with that. But more people now more than ever just side with villains. It takes something specific to make you not like a villain. Take for instance Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn went from just this really hot sidekick for Joker that people to draw a whole bunch of porn of.
Oh yeah.
To they're just you're supposed to like Harley Quinn, but you're not supposed to like Harley Quinn for any other reason outside of the reasons that we give you. Which only makes people not want to like Harley Quinn. People like Harley Quinn because she was a nice parallel to the Joker. Yeah. They don't want to like Harley Quinn because you tell her you should like Harley Quinn for other reasons.
And she was hot. Hot.
Yeah. People want people to like the heroes because they're morally obligated to like the heroes. Which, I understand, you're supposed to like the hero because that's the whole point of reading a story.
Yeah.
But people are more relating more to the villains now because, one, they have aesthetics about them that people like, and two, they just vibe with the villains' motivations better, even if they're supposed to be fucking evil.
I gotta point out, Murrlogic, you've got some controversy in the chat right now. Ace Fishy
Why?
And Axe4 Extreme are saying, they have some comments about this best friend thing you said, where... They're both saying, Axe4 Extreme says, Mur has also said I am his best friend. I'm starting to think he's lying, guys. You wanna explain yourself, buddy?
Afer and Ace are both my best friends. I love them both dearly. They're just mad because, they both want the title of best friend because, in their mind, it's like when Dick is ever on the show and, a certain co-host of his says we, and then Dick responds in, green text form, he's like, we? This is we.
Whoa.
Ace, Afer, I love you both. You're both my best friends. You're both like brothers to me. You both can share the best friend title. It's just how it is.
He's got a lot of love in his heart. You have a ton of love in your heart for anyone.
Yeah. By that account, Mondays, A4 and Ace Fishy are all my best friend. We're all friends here. Yeah. It's like Stand By Me. We're going to find the railroad track together and we're going to walk down it.
To find a dead body?
Yeah, it's usually how friendships start and last.
That's so nice. We're all gonna walk down and find this nasty, disgusting, bloated corpse at the end. It's gonna make us stronger.
Yeah. Or, better example would be like the Goonies. We're all gonna go find Sloth together.
Murlogic, what do you think of this canvas so far? I don't know if you can see it.
I was having a hard time seeing it before because I've never seen this website before, and a prompt popped up saying how you need to have an account to see what they're viewing right now. I'm like, serious?
Here you go, man. I'll stream it for you on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can just look through mine, and I'll show you. Because there's a lot of stuff on here that's dedicated to you. Yeah. I think it's really cool.
I really like that one that henchman 21 Kisser is making. I love how cynically evil she looks. It's perfect.
That's really great.
Yeah. That's 100% the kind of person who drives the biggest shitbox SUV money can buy. Like, we're talking 2004 Hummer H2, custom built with extra lift. You know, her ozone layer is so fucking big, it's the size of a fucking North American continent.
That's awesome. What else do we have here? We have a really tiny one down here. That's nice.
I love the one with Charlie and Pim. It needs to be like a reverse thing where Charlie goes, I love AI, Pim, I love AI! But Charlie, what about the artist? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this one's drawn by Shithead. This one's pretty good. I like this one a lot.
Shitty.
Shitty, yeah, sorry.
Well,
It's really
Shitty's always good.
Yeah, it's true.
How is Texas, by the way? You know, the overall state of it. You guys aren't freezing to death like you were before, right?
I mean, like, as of now, it doesn't get that cold. It usually gets pretty cold by the end of October, going into November.
You're not having
is
a good
when
time
that
of it,
cold-
right? Like, you're really struggling right now. You're telling me, like,
With the heat?
yeah, like your horse was, like, in a dire straits at the moment?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I remember a
Oh.
while ago that Death Valley ended up having like 130-degree weather, and while that is intense, it didn't surprise me because one, it's the fucking desert. Of course, it's going to be hot, and two, it's called Death fucking Valley. Of course, fucking Valley is going to be 130 degrees. You can't get any hotter unless you're in the fucking Sahara.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's,
Yeah, I don't know why
I mean,
you go
as
there.
Yeah.
It's like,
probably why they named it that.
yeah, it's like
It's
going
like,
to,
coming to Death Valley.
yeah, like never go to Murrlogic death location, you know? Never.
Yeah. Yeah, I have it in my
Assassination point.
Yeah.
I have it in my will specifically that I don't want to be buried and I don't want to be cremated when I die. What I want to happen is that I want them to put my body in a... This is going to sound like a Tomar bit, so just level with me.
Okay.
I want them to put my body into a cube of ice. Now, people will mistake that in thinking, oh, you want your body cryogenically frozen. No, you fucking heard me. I want a giant fucking ice cube with like a human-sized hole straight in the middle. I want you to open that ice cube the way you would open a refrigerator.
Whoa.
Like that bit from that one Junji Ito comic where they look at the rock formation with all the human-shaped holes, and one guy goes,
Yeah.
this hole, it's meant for me. I want them to make a hole for my fat fucking frame, and I want them to shove me into that fucking hole the way you take the square block and you put it into the round hole. And I want them to take that ice cube, and I want them to bury that ice cube in the coldest place in the world, Antarctica. Now, the people living in Antarctica going through their Hyperborea fantasies are probably going to like the fact that there's some poor person just burying their corpse in a giant ice cube out in this frozen wilderness where all the Nazis are hiding in like a fucking ravine or wherever.
Absolutely. I was
But,
gonna
you know,
say.
I want them to bury me in a block of ice in somewhere cold. Because, you know, I don't like the idea of being worm food, and I don't like the idea of being a pile of ashes.
I get that. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
creepy to me. Whenever I think of like, I don't know, someone in a coffin, I think of them like 2 months later, and they're just some nasty, like dried up skeleton.
Yeah.
You know, being eaten alive by worms.
I want them to find me the way they found the fucking alien people in Prometheus, perfectly preserved. And the first thing they do when they wake them up is that they start crashing out, going, "Why are there humans on my fucking planet? Fucking go back!"
Would you ever get shot into space if you died? You think that would be cool?
No, I got a buddy named Aether who tells me vividly, it's like, man was not meant to go into space because if we did, we wouldn't be making so many fucking excuses as to why we're not back yet.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah,
Dude, that was. You're blowing my mind right now.
yeah.
Well,
Wow,
wouldn't the
yeah.
same be said about flight? Like, well, we would have wings if we could fly. If we could fly, we were supposed to. You know.
I watched Sam Hyde's Flat Earth video, and he brought up a lot of fascinating points despite the fact that he was also still in like full comedy mode. My favorite bit from that video was the fact how, you know, we tend to think we're a perfect society. One day you're at Whole Foods drinking a yerba mate, and then one bad power outage, and suddenly you're debating if you should cannibalize your neighbor.
Right. Right. I get
Yeah.
that. Absolutely. Some people do that now, even for like just fun.
Did you ever see that one Alex Jones bit where if Alex Jones said if shit hit the fan, the first thing he's going to fucking do, no questions asked, is he's going to go over to his neighbor's house and he's going to eat his neighbor? Specifically, I don't know what beef he has with his neighbor. Maybe his house like barely crosses the property line or whatever. But out of all the people he wanted to fucking eat, like that bit out of Walking Dead is like, no, I'm gonna eat my neighbor. He's on my list.
Oh my god, that's so
He's
funny.
gonna go into my mouth.
That's the second the
Cry.
power
I
outage
would
hits.
cry and move. I would cry and move. That was. I saw that.
Yeah, the first fucking thing his neighbor's going to see before his fucking food is Alex going, I'm a pioneer,
Yeah.
I'm an explorer, I'm a human, and you're lunch.
He's putting on like a giant cartoon bib, like, get over
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
Get over here. That bit where Alex Jones is chasing someone down the street. He's gonna do the, come here,
Yeah.
coward. He's gonna run like the fucking light bringer.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh,
That's so cool.
this could happen to me. I guess it could. He does live in Texas.
He's doing this.
You're his neighbor.
Oh God.
Dude, be careful, guy. Oh my god. That's fucking scary. He's a scary
Dude.
guy, isn't he, Alex Jones? I don't want
Little
him
bit.
as a neighbor. Screaming maniac, you know?
My favorite.
We do have-
My favorite edit of Alex Jones, I don't even know what video it's referencing, but there's a bit where he starts screaming about Obama, but this is now edited to where he turns Super Saiyan when he starts screaming.
Yeah.
Cheeto's piano theme from the Faulkner score starts playing. It's like, that is a man who will realistically ascend to a level of state that will get him into Hyperborea someday.
By the way, we have a letter here. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Alex from New England asks, Murrlogic, do you play Fortnite?
No. Problem with Fortnite is it's basically a amalgamation game now. It's the Ready Player One of video games now, where anything that could be put in this fucking game is now put in this game. I do not yearn to go, victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we're about to get down.
Absolutely.
I do not care for the 10 kills on the board right now. I do not care to go to Loot Lake. I do not care to go to Tomato Town. It's like I'm reading the Fortnite version of Sam I Am.
I was gonna say, exactly, yeah. Me either. I don't like Fortnite either.
Yeah. That is boomer territory right there.
Yeah.
There's a time period of time where Ninja was like, I don't play other games because they don't make the same money as I do playing Fortnite. And well, hey, you gotta get that grind, dude. If you gotta play Fortnite despite, you being bored with the game, I mean, all for it, bro.
Absolutely.
Get that bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh man. Let's see what
Any
else
more
is there?
questions?
We have a ton.
I think there's another question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hold on, let me see. This one's from Laura Pugh from Nashville, Tennessee. She says, what is your favorite piece of art you've commissioned and why?
Oh man,
Do you have that?
That's a hard question.
It's like going to a parent and saying, "Who's your favorite child?" while they're both in the room.
Oh no.
I love all of the art pieces I end up making. A4, is a guy who makes a whole lot of art. I suppose one art piece I could show that I really like is this one right here.
Yeah, please. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up on the stream. There we go. This is really nice. I love this.
Yeah.
And who made this?
That is a character. This is a character made by a artist by the name of Chiggy. Chiggy drew that when I was, going through that phase as to, he hasn't drawn a blonde woman yet. I want him to draw a very nice one, and well, he drew that, and I'm like, that's.
Yeah.
If that belonged in a museum, it's the first thing that goes in. That is a gold star up on the fridge for everybody to see. That's an A+ on the spelling test. Fucking picture right there. He went through a lot of different designs in regards to her. She used to look like this.
Whoa.
This was her original model. Yeah.
Okay,
You'll you'll see you put a lot of thought and heart into a lot of these. Yeah.
This is... Yeah, I see a lot of hearts.
Yeah.
Oops.
Big hearts. Yeah. Another one that I particularly like is this one right here. An artist named Shen worked on this. This is Abundance.
Whoa. Is this the Shen?
Shin Comics?
What?
Shin Comics?
I think
Like
his
the
full name.
bike cook guy?
I think his full name is like Shenzanima or some shit like that. I just call him Shen for short because it's easier to remember.
Right. Okay.
This is Abundance. Abundance was a project that me and Shen worked on a while ago. He drew a bunch of these for me. Her name is Abundance Plenty of, because her name is supposed to be a play on toe of having abundance and plenty of. But the whole bit with her is that she pronounces her name in like a fake ass French accent. Oh, my name is Abundance. Abundance Plenty. It's French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She, like with all characters that I end up drawing, is, very particular with her financial and societal beliefs. As you can see, she's not the kind of believer that you should live modestly. Now, you should live as aggressively maximalist as humanly possible.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have a little gun on her car.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love
I told Shen, it's like, look, I want the Hummer to look like a domestic model, because there's two versions of Hummers. They're military Hummers, and they're domestic Hummers. And domestic Hummers are the ones that don't have 50 calibers on the top of the fucking roof. But Abundance, who cares for her safety so much because poor people give her the ick. She needs that extra aesthetic protection. So of course she needs the 50 cal cannon on top of her fucking Hummer. Yeah.
I want to say this is one thing I really love about your stuff, is that the abundance of human cruelty in it is so cartoonish, where like she wants to consume max resources. I love that.
They're the villains. Villains aren't supposed to be smart. I mean, you can if you want to, but not mine. Mine are flagrantly evil. They're the equivalent of having the silver spoon not be in your mouth, it's in your ass. It just rammed deep into there, like you're fracking for oil. Yeah.
It's the coolest thing ever.
Here's one that I really like. It's this one right here.
Oh, this is from a cartoon, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Adalia from the Owl House. She is my weef. I love her to death. She's my favorite character in the whole wide world. That was drawn as a commission for my 30th birthday. It was drawn by a guy named Sir.
Oh, wow. Wait, I think I know. Yeah, Sir Artwork? Is that right?
Yeah, Sir's the guy with the horse head.
Yeah, exactly. I know who this guy is, yeah.
Yeah. Sir heard that I liked Adalia a lot. And was like, well, who am I to doubt the birthday boy? I'm going to have something special right for him.
Oh, that's
Somebody
great.
commissioned Sir, and he made me this. And honestly, it was the nicest thing he ever commissioned. I love Adalia. She's the only saving grace. Because Owl House is just a very mid show. Without her, I probably would have watched that shit.
Do you have like a I want to get back to your original characters in a second, but I'm very curious now. Do you have like a number one like waifu?
Adalia.
Really? Oh, that's it? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Adalia is perfect. If anybody who you would casually watch all 3 seasons of Owl House, anything they would know about Adalia, they would take one look at her. It's like, she's the most aggressively mer-coded character ever. Dana could not have made a more mer-coded character if she tried, unless she specifically found a way to bring human materialism back to the Boiling Isles, and she was like, oh, I'm all for this shirt. Magicalist carriages called Hummers? Oh, they're beautiful. Poor people will flip that bill for me.
That's so cool. It's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Oh, also, really quick, everyone drawing on the magma, please, this time, add your ats on it, your tags or whatever, your names, because I'm gonna post these. I feel bad for posting them, and you guys don't really get credit. So please, wherever you're drawing, write your names in so people can see them. Okay, that's it. Anyway, I want to talk about some of your cartoon ideas, your creative ideas, I should say. Because you have a ton.
I'll bring one up
Please.
I'll bring one up right now since I already posted Abundance. Like we were talking about before we were preparing for this, Abundance was the first pitch that I wanted to do. I went over to Shen, and when we were like making designs for Abundance, I was like, look, I want to make like an Invader Zim tone kind of show, because Invader Zim is like this dark comedy show about an alien who wants to take over the world, but then stupid shit ends up happening as if like the universe itself is forbidding Zim from wanting to take over the world. But the inner machinations of that show is actually about some schizo named Dib, who is like one of the 2 people on Earth that knows Zim's an alien. But everybody's like so indifferent or uncaring that Dib knows that information that Dib just starts crashing out over it. It's like, Zim is an alien! You're supposed to freak out over. You're supposed to put him on an autopsy table and put me on Mysterious Mysteries. And everyone's like, shut up, Dib Lamau. I wanted.
I thought Dip was here for a second.
Yeah, that was,
What?
That was a good impression.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good dip.
Yeah.
Zim is an alien.
You can't get
Oh
the
my
tip.
god, dude.
Yeah.
Contact Johan Vasquez? I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah.
Well,
Jonah, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So I wanted to get like the same tone pitch of that, where it's about a guy who is trying to prove to everybody on Earth who is both indifferent and uncaring that the person that he's been obsessing about is a really bad person. And I wanted to do that, but I wanted it to be about abundance. So Abundance's whole thing is that she's like a shameless, like, evil CEO that only cares about her bottom line. She wants to just completely eradicate all nature on Earth. She does not care about the long-term consequences. As long as she's breathing, forests are going to be paved over one way or another. And, well, when I was pitching that idea to Shen, figured, well, somebody in regards to that needs, extra characters for that. You need, like, an extended cast. So here's one character right here. This is her next door neighbor. This is Holly Wholewheat. Oh yeah, that was another thing. Shen's whole bit was like, you should base a lot of the characters in this comic based off different types of bread. Or sorry, no,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
That's not Holly Wholewheat. That's Sally Sourdough. That's her. That is her neighbor. That's her creative consultant, if you will. Now, Abundance, because of how crazily selfish she is. She basically pays her to mindlessly agree with everything that Abundance says. And, it's not like Abundance needs, like, incentive to, like, do bad things. She's going to do bad things one way or the other. But she likes, the positivity of a friend who basically is just so dumb. Is like, I'm thinking about destroying the entire Amazon rainforest because it's an eyesore. And her job is like, yes, you should do that. It's like, oh, man, we have such a connection. I knew we were friends. Basically, her whole purpose in life is just to say yes.
Oh, like a yes woman. Okay.
Yeah, literally that. She's paid to be a yes woman. She doesn't even need a yes woman, but she's happy that she's there.
Yeah.
But no, the character that I was referring to before I misslip was this. This is Holly Wholewheat. This is her version of Dib. Now, Holly is the aggressive opposite of everything in regards to abundance. She is a nature-preserving, what do you call Ranger Smith from Yogi Bear? A park reservationist or something?
Park ranger.
Yeah, park ranger.
Park ranger. He's a nature-loving park ranger who lives in like a Ted K-style cabin out in the middle of the fucking forest. So, the initial pilot in regards to this was called Episode 1, Abundance Goes Camping. The opening shot would be Abundance coming in this giant, towering RV, like that RV from the Goofy movie.
Right.
There's a scene from that movie where, for a very brief second, a saw comes by and cuts down some trees. So Pete's fucking RV can like aggressively expand into its new camping site. I wanted to do a bit like that, but the RV is like 100 times bigger. So Abundance's idea of camping is to destroy areas that people go camping because she actually despises camping. And her idea of camping is eradicating areas where people camp in. So they are no longer areas to camp. They are just areas to build industry in. But since this technically counts as camping because, she's in an RV, her whole bit's like, ugh, disgusting. Look at all this nature. It disgusts me to my fucking core. So she sends her 2 helper minions to go and just eradicate the whole area. And they're like, do we have to? We don't want to be here. It's so green and boring and unprofitable. It's like, look, the sooner we destroy this area, the better. This will be the closest thing we do to camping, And if anybody asks, oh, so you guys, oh, yeah, we're big nature lovers here. Because the whole bit is that Abundance lies to people. She lies to the poor. And they're supposed to be depicted as dumb as humanly possible. And the whole bit is that Holly's trying to go to the poor and being like, Abundance is this horrible fucking woman. Look at what she does to nature. And like I told you in that bit where, her friends, they do like the bare minimum possible. And since, all the poor, they're just so fucking dumb. They do the bare minimum and they fucking believe them. It's like, oh man, Abundance, that wonderful nature lover of her. Like, no one loves trees more than her. What is your deal, Holly? How many trees have you planted? It's like, I live in nature. And you're telling me she loves nature more than me? That's ridiculous.
So
no, Holly's whole bit is that she was supposed to play the character as Dib in regards to that pitch.
okay. So is it like an Invader Zim where more like the antagonist is the protagonist we're following, like the villain is our...
Yeah, exactly that. Abundance is the main character, but she's the main villain. Holly is the side character, and she's the protagonist, but she has to play the role of the villain because the main character is the villain. Right. So the side character has to be the protagonist.
Okay, that makes sense. I get you. I'm following you now.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, the whole bit is that every time Holly tries to prove abundance, it's like this nature-hating psychopath, and ends up just blowing up in her face. Exactly how Invader Zim goes down, where every time Dib tries to get close, the universe just course corrects that, and he just starts crashing out over it.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So these two right here are her fucking helpers. They're also named after bread. Their names are Sara Lee and Sunbeam, both different kinds of white bread. Abundance, her name is just abundance and plenty of. Sara Lee and, oh god, fucking, sorry, I just had a brain fart for a second.
Okay, you good.
Sara Lee and, oh god, what did I call the other one? It's, Sunbeam, yeah. Sara Lee and Sunbeam. These are her helper minions. The bit with them was that, she can't tell the difference between the two of them. So the person who's Sara Lee and the person who's Sunbeam, she'll just call one either or, and they just kind of agree with it. It's like, oh yeah, she called me Sunbeam, so my name today is that I'm Sunbeam. So vice versa for Sara Lee. It's you guess as to who's who. These are her helper minions. They're the ones who basically make Holly's life harder for her. Like the majority of the time, an example of that would be like Bratz, the series. There are these two characters called, like, the Tweedles, or whatever. They're these two dumb blonde girls who work for their fucking, their lady friend, who's voiced by the girl who voices Edith from Owl House. I can't fucking remember her name. But her whole obsession is with pink, and the Bratz, they think pink is a very antiquated color lately, and she's trying to, like, prove to them or whatever, like, he's like, no, it's not. Because she's supposed to be a bit... Maxine. Her name is fucking Maxine. She's supposed to be a parody of Barbie. Yeah.
Doy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, these two are in reference to that. Their whole bit is to just make Holly's life all the fucking worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see. So.
Yeah.
She's got a lot stacked against her. This park ranger woman. She's kind of fucked, dude.
Yeah. They never would have ended up doing that if these two weren't just destroying her fucking home and saying, oh, you don't understand, this whole area has been bought and paid for. It's like, this is a nature reserve. It's backed by the government. It's like, oh, that's funny. You believe the government can't be bought. Abundance said this whole forest is getting cut down, so don't get in our way, okay? Okay.
How long does this, like, go for? Because eventually I assume the forest will be destroyed, and, like, at what point can Abundance go, oh yeah, I was fucking lying the entire time?
So, episode 1, the whole bit with that is that Holly basically, like, sabotages their deforestation machines, and they ended up calling that a loss. Because even then, Invader Zim has episodes where it's namely just Zim and Dib fucking with each other, and Zim ends up losing. Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Because there would be, like, moments where it's just that, where, like, Holly gets her revenge in regards to stopping whatever fucking Captain Planet scheme Abundance has on that fucking day or whatever. But the moments where Holly tries to expose to the world how much of a fucking evil, nature-hating psychopath she is, and it just blows up in her face. Because, this is supposed to be episodic,
Yeah.
The game's not supposed to end. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's like a back and forth. I get you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And in your mind, this would go for, like, episodic, so it could go on for like 2 seasons, 3 seasons, whatever they give you, if you got it.
A lot of my initial pitches were namely just episodic in mind, where they didn't really have like complex plots. They were namely just like wacky antics with rich people and poor people.
Yeah.
One idea I had for a concept came from my best friend Balmora. Balmora wanted to do a bit where we do a Tom and Jerry-esque show. It's called The Princess and the Tomboy. And this was like a reverse parallel to Abundance's story, where where the main attention is drawn to the main character, that being the tomboy character. Who's every tomboy stereotype you can think. Very active, very nature lovey, and her quote unquote friend, who in reality is not her friend. Her quote unquote friend fucking despises her because she's poor and she hates her. Is the princess. See, the princess and the tomboy is supposed to be just like Tom and Jerry, where Tom is playing the role of the princess, and Jerry's playing the role of the tomboy. Every time the tomboy wants to has the princess, expand your horizons or whatever, the sister's like, no, I like cold and sterile and surrounded by material possessions, things you wouldn't understand because you're poor and I hate you. Now, there's an old short from a movie called Bebe's Kids.
Oh, God.
It was a horrible fucking movie, but there was a short that played before Baby's Kids called Itsy Bitsy. It was a short about a girl who was in this massive mansion or whatever, and her strict piano instructor's teaching to teach her how to get better at playing the piano, and she finds a spider that's actually friends with that little girl. And she sends an exterminator that's voiced by Jim Carrey, of all fucking people.
Whoa.
And the whole bit is about this exterminator failing to kill one small bug, and ends up destroying the whole fucking house.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
I love when like things just get out of hand and cartoonishly things are destroyed. Everyone's looking around at the end of the episode like, oh, uh-oh.
Yeah. If nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about, this is the short. I mean, if you actually see all the background of the stuff of like the piano instructor lady like crashing and going, "You're destroying my house!" The pilot for this was supposed to be how the very wealthy mom of the princess was going out or whatever. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go get my nails done, or whatever rich people do. And all of a sudden he's like, make sure you look after the house now. It's like, okay, mommy, goodbye. And then the tomboy materializes just into that. I was like, what are you doing in here? The doors were locked. It's like, oh man, I came to see my best friend. It's like, now, let me be clear with you. We're not friends. We're the furthest fucking thing from friends. You need to cease your need to not be in my house. And then Tomboy ends up just going full Dee Dee from Dexter, and she just starts accidentally breaking things. Or she ends up getting the princess so mad that she ends up also breaking things inside the house. It's supposed to demonstrate that the princess of Princess and the Tomboy demands constant materialism all around her, but she doesn't value any of it. She will wreck her house purposely if it means for the fucking Tomboy in character to fucking get out. Like, a grand fucking example of this would be, hold on.
I think I know the answer to this, but let me just ask anyway. Are there any males in the show?
Not really.
Yeah.
I namely have women as main characters because I feel like there are not enough characters that are just evil billionaire women who are just selfish.
That's right. We need more women billionaires. I've always thought of this, yeah.
There's a bit from the Harley Quinn series where, I forgot who it was, but Harley goes to this one lady who is like making a focus group for female villains, and their whole justification as to why they're evil, according to the writers, is like, oh yeah, we're evil supervillains and whatnot, but you want to know what the worst thing in this world is? The patriarchy. They ever consider the reason why we do bad things is because the patriarchy forces us to do it? I'm like, no. I don't want shit like that. I don't want garbage like that. No. I want a world where all of like the most powerful, wealthy people on it are women. But the problem with that is that if everyone's powerful and wealthy, they don't have the poor to use as a scapegoat to filter in all their rage. I wanted to create a parallel. The idea of a perfect world, according to a rich person, is that you have one rich person ruling over a bunch of poor people and they all just mindlessly obey. So the parallel to me, it's like, well, what if you were to make a society where everybody's rich, where everybody has equal, like, you're a billionaire, your next door neighbor is also a billionaire, and every other neighbor next to you is also a billionaire. Everybody lives in a mansion, all of the HOAs, So instead of having a Karen crash out at, a lesser person who just doesn't want to deal with it, you have a society full of nothing but Karens. You have
that
one Karen
awful.
in a giant. Yeah. Yeah, this is supposed to be depicted as draconishly nightmarish as humanly possible. You have one Karen in a giant SUV backing up, and she hits another Karen with another SUV. So you have two Karens having a screaming match with one another, and neither of them can get the side of anybody because, you have a bunch of indifferent Karens all just going out, doing their own Karen shit. Meanwhile, these other two Karens are screaming at each other going, "You hit my car! No, you hit my car!" So, no poor people means rich people have to hate the rich. Because, there are only other... Yeah, when you take everything away from the rich will just start hating each other. So, you make a society full of nothing but rich people, and the rich people just start complaining about how, oh yeah, I need to be richer than them. I need to be richer than the average rich person. You have all bunch of female daddy warbucks kind of people.
Right.
Everybody in this world is a CEO. Everybody has their own corner office. Their whole bit as to what they do for a job all day is they go into a meeting, and they all complain about how who's the CEO that day. I'm the CEO. No, I'm the CEO. No, I'm the CEO. No, I'm the CEO. And then this goes on for 8 hours.
Yeah.
This is like a bit from Office Space. Like, what do they fucking do all day? They have middle management sip coffee all day. They go to lower management. And they're like, I feel like you're not working hard enough. You should really add some positivity to your life. I'm gonna go stand by the water cooler for another 7 hours and get paid way more than you could ever fucking dream about. So imagine a whole society where everybody's rich and everybody just has everybody works a middle management job where they get paid way more than they're worth. But, it's basically middle management going to other middle management. They go, one girl drinking coffee goes to another girl drinking coffee. It's like, I don't like the way that you're going over to that other person drinking coffee, and I feel like you could be drinking coffee. There's, excuse me, I've been in middle management way longer. No. Listen, I am the embodiment.
Way longer than you. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I drink. I get a way more expensive order than you do at Starbucks. Okay, I know what I'm doing.
Imagine that scene from American Psycho where they're all crashing out of their different business cards. They're just all women. When they want to make a female version of American Psycho, they need to put me in charge of that. I know what they need. Just put a bunch of blonde women in the room all complaining about how they have nothing to complain about, so they complain to each other.
Whoa. Do you like American Psycho? Have you seen... Oh, I'm sorry, Guy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, real quick, this might sound slightly insulting, but I think it's like your like whole idea, like your whole like lore about things. It kind of reminded me of what's his name, Mr. Enter and his pilot. But I think like you have like shaped this like entire world to like fit so well with like the things you like that I'm almost like kind of starstruck how much thought has went into this.
One bit people notice is that poor people will complain when rich people are polluting too much, and then rich people will complain about how we see poor people aren't doing their fair share of covering up for our pollution. See, if a world was just infested with nothing but rich people, their idea wouldn't be, oh yeah, we're going to be polluting less. No, we're going to be polluting way more. I was watching a bit from an old Greenpeace commercial because apparently Mattel was causing untold amounts of deforestation to make boxes for their fucking toys or whatever.
How awful.
And, this one?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm distracted, but no. The bit was that Mattel was doing like some really shady... Oh, here it is. So... Mattel was doing some really shady shit where they were like making a bunch of fucking boxes off of rainforest wood, which seems a bit excessive. I'm with them on that. But like they dressed up a bunch of blonde women as Barbies, and they had them pretend cutting down trees while saying how, Mattel uses the best trees to make our boxes. And I saw shit like that. It's like, well, obviously, if I were to make like a pitch involving that, I would make it so the company, it's like, we had our most profitable year because of how much we were polluting, and we wanted to let our consumer base, that not only are we going to keep polluting, we're going to pollute 900 times more option. We heard your complaints. You heard that we said we're not polluting enough. We're only destroying 100 acres of rainforest an hour. Oh, man. What were we kidding with that? You're right. We should be destroying 2,000 acres of rainforest a day. And you know what? We were going to do that anyway, but since you brought it up, we're going to start doing that. It's like investing in a Kickstarter page, and they offer you something. You get shit in return. The joke to this is like, no, they want shit in return. They want nothing but garbage in return. I want you to do a bad thing for the money we're giving your company. Great. We were going to do that anyway. But since you're paying us, we're going to do it 500 times more motivationally.
Okay, so...
All the women in this world are genuinely fucking evil. They exist solely...
Okay, wait, I have questions. I have questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I don't mean to interrupt you, but, so to kind of piggyback onto what Guy said, right? This deforestation thing and, the causing untold amounts of damage... It is very interesting because it does tie into like your fetishes, but it's not just fetishes. I think it's also like something that you're very interested in as well. Like it's not something that's wholly sexual for you. This seems to be like something you're very creatively. It gets your creative juices flowing. It sounds like you're very passionate talking about this right now. So it can't just be in it for the coom,
The general idea is that a lot of people hate writing plots that are about environmentalism because I feel like Captain Planet had like this negative stigma on people where, it's got to be preachy. It's like, listen, the most popular Hayao Miyazaki movie of all time is Princess Mononoke. You want to know what the theme of that fucking movie is? It's about a woman named Lady Ebishi who is literally just destroying as much fucking forest as humanly possible. And before you respond, yes, I have considered commissioning Ebishi shopping for whatever the Japanese equivalent of white bread would be in that time frame. But it's really Miyazaki's famous story. It's about a woman destroying the forest, and then the nature spirit comes by. It's like, hey man, could you stop? Like, what the fuck are you even doing? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lady Ebishi. I'm building this grand city. And, when I build this grand city, I'm going to turn it into a fucking nation state where I'm in charge. And, the thing about me is, like, I like to think big, and I want a huge city. I want it to be like an inner fortress of a fucking city. And then the nature spirit's like, that's really retardedly selfish. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is my home. It's like, wrong. These bad boys are getting turned into toothpicks and, charcoal for our guns or whatever. And, people would argue, like, but maybe she has to learn the consequences for her actions near the end of the movie because she has to go and apologize to the nature space. Like, well, you see, commissions fix this. I have a tendency to just black out that part of the movie because I like everyone evil. Yeah.
Yeah, wait, I don't like the ending. I turn off Princess Mononoke halfway through because I don't like the ending.
Yeah, just the same thing with fucking Nazca and the Valley of the Wind, where the evil queen character has to learn, it's like, maybe these mutant freaks have, like, every right to live in the hellscape that we ended up creating for them, because, we're just going to end up slowly dying anyway because of atrophy, because the air is all poisoned or whatnot. No, we're just gonna cut it off right there. It's going to be that bit from The Simpsons where they're watching Gone with the Wind, and, like, Moleman's like, didn't that movie used to have a war in it? Oh, no, we told you, you're out of here.
That's so fucking cool. It's the coolest thing. So, I don't know if you've ever answered this. Forgive me if you have, but real life deforestation.
Bad.
Bad.
Horrible. Don't ever do it.
Okay, yeah. Even if blonde or redheaded women are doing it, still terrible.
Listen, when I sent you those VO clips of that blonde going, I simply adore clear cutting. That's just a bit.
Yeah.
We kind of need air to breathe, and you want to know what gives air? Are trees.
Absolutely.
And algae, and things that, eat up carbon. Like, the thing about all of the evil women doing deforestation is that all bit is fictional.
Yep.
To them, that fictional world is the real world, and, they need air in their fictional world to breathe, but, the guy with the pen in his hand is going, sucks to be them. they're gonna enter a toxic hellscape only Warhammer can provide for them.
So you're like when like they're drawing Looney Tunes and erasing Daffy Duck, but you're killing their world. Like that's so cool.
No, like the general idea is that I want more anti-environmentalist female villains, and Dr. Blight was like the first aspect of that, and I send an edible arrangement once a year to Ted Turner's estate saying, thank you for making fucking Dr. Blight for me. I'm your biggest fan of Captain Planet. And Ted probably gets that edible arrangement and go, who the fuck is Murrlogic?
Whatever. Is that true? Do you really do that?
No.
Fuck.
I like to think that I do.
That would be so cool.
I remember one day, the week before Steve Jobs died, I was living in my old foster home, right?
Yeah.
And I wrote a letter about him. Hey, Steve Jobs, I live in a foster home. Could you send me an Apple computer? And then 1 week later, he died.
Oh.
And I always assumed that he read that letter. He's like, he wants a free Apple laptop. And the shock of that letter just caused him to have a heart attack. Yeah. Oh. Like, I killed Steve Jobs. He wanting a computer for free upset him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You should write more letters like that and kill people.
I want characters like London Tipton, from scenes like this. It's like, and you do what Tipton's do best. Cut down rainforest to put up resorts. I'm like, she said the line.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that. Let me look at this canvas. I haven't looked at it in a while. Someone drew Glep as a beautiful blonde woman.
Oh no, that's Glep's sister!
Oh yeah, Glep's sister.
I fucking hate you! I fucking hate you!
Oh wait, no, you're thinking of Pim's sister. You're thinking of
Pim's sister, sorry.
Yeah. This Pim's sister's down here. Oh, this is great. Yeah, this is awesome. Well, we've gone over a bit, so I don't want to keep you too long, Murrlogic. Guy, do you have any final questions for him or anything like that?
I got like 10 minutes left. If you guys want to rapid fire some questions, now's your chance.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll go for 10 more minutes. If Chad, if you have any questions, feel free, shoot them out. What were you saying? What were you gonna say, Guy?
No, I was just thinking. I was thinking of my questions here.
Let me see. Let me reach in my bag as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of dumb ones.
There are.
You're gonna start asking
what is
questions? Yeah.
Yeah. What is What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Who
Can you
asked
answer
that?
that, Mr. Murloc?
Who asked that
Well,
question?
you gotta put that question under the same category of if a bee is so fucking fat, why does its tiny wings give it the ability to fly? You know, nature's a mystery.
That's a good. Wait, why can bees fly? They are fucking fat.
Yeah,
No one's ever asked that.
yeah.
Now
You
we're
think-
asking real questions.
Do you think bees are asking the same thing about us? Like, how can they walk? They're so fucking fat, you know?
So huge and retarded with their 2 legs.
Yeah.
We have 6.
Yeah.
Even Miyamoto was probably bringing up that question when he was promoting Mario Galaxy. Like, put Mario in the bee suit, but his fat Italian ass is too fucking big to fly. It'll anchor him down. He's like, no, do it. We're gonna do that. We're gonna put him in a cat suit next.
But you know what is actually very very cool to me? So, it seems like I've heard you say that like you never really did any of this for attention, right? You didn't want to be known as the Wonder Bread guy. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of like your title now. But it seems like with these creative endeavors and what you're trying to do now, you want to get away from that and be known for something else, like making a cartoon or making something like real and tangible, which I think is a yeah.
Me, Sean, and Johnny are working on like a pitch that I don't know how far I'm going to get, but Johnny from the Dick Show wants me to make something in regards to that. Go over it a little bit. The name of the project is called A Day to Die for the Doblovec. It's a story about how a soldier from the Revolutionary War, a soldier from the Confederacy, and a Nazi from World War II are all sent to a pocket dimension where they have to go fight an evil princess.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So the whole idea of the story is that you got 3 people from 3 different timelines, and they all have like different societal, political, and all kinds of expectations. So it's basically like the biggest fish out of water story you could ever fucking write. Is you got 3 people who all represent a different villainous faction, and since they're the only company they have to all work together to find a way out of this pocket dimension and go back to their timelines. But they can't do that because an evil princess is keeping them there.
Right. Shit. That's a good idea. That would be really interesting. That'd be hard to write, though, wouldn't it? Because you'd have to know a fair amount of each person's, I guess, historical background.
Yeah, I was going over the pitch with Sean, and Sean was like, well, granted, I am a history buff. And, well, you know, I know there are moments in this story, Murray, that you're probably going to want to, you know, take some creative liberties with, because, you know, you can't always be one-to-one. I want to be close enough in regards to that. The whole general idea is that, you know, I love movies like The Last Samurai and The Patriot starring Mel Gibson. Great movies. I love them. But, you know, snobbish historical people say, oh, that would never happen. That's not historically accurate. It's like, look, sometimes you got to just let your brain turn off. You know, you can watch a historical thing if it's good enough, well written enough to where, you know, you ain't got to worry about the history aspect of it. But, you know, you only got to call into question if it gets like really, really stupid. Like, I remember when I was watching the Hulu version of Shogun, and the first couple of episodes were great, and the latter couple of episodes fucking sucked because it was no longer about that guy who crashed onto Japan, and then the emperor brought him in. It's like, I need you to help me build an army. I'm like, this sounds great. This sounds exactly like The Last Samurai. And it's no longer about this guy. He ends up becoming like the 7th most important character. When he starts the show, it's like the 1st or even the 2nd most important character.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Yes, creative liberties are definitely, you know, entertainment comes first no matter what, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for something like that. Like, I love the movie Hercules. Not at all close to the myth, you know? But
hey, everybody loves James Woods' Hades.
That's true. He's really good. He's really, really good.
He is the best part.
Yeah. You know, Murrlogic.
Are you going to send me all these pictures, by the way, after I leave?
Oh, absolutely. I can send you all this stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Murrlogic, can I tell you my theory about Hercules?
Yeah, go for it.
So, you've seen it, I imagine. I don't know, like, how long ago you may have seen it, but I've seen it maybe a couple years
Zero
ago.
to hero.
Yeah. I rewatch it every couple of years. I really like it. And I believe... I believe that there's a I don't know what it is about the way they draw Hercules, but it's very gay porn coded. Like,
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's called a twunk. A twunk is not like a twink. A twink is somebody who's thin and fragile. A twunk is somebody who's got a well-built physique but still has the body of a twink. It's basically force a six-pack on something that doesn't look like it is deserving of one. That's
Yep.
Hercules.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they pay a
Yeah.
lot of attention to his feet in that movie. I want to rewatch
The,
it.
the, the
They,
fucking bit from the Apostles going, "Oh, buddy, you mean Hercules? Hercules is
what do you mean,
fucking hunk.
Hercules? Yeah.
Oh shit, you want a hunk version of Hercules? Play God of War." Yeah,
Yeah. And bash his fucking
Yeah.
head in.
exactly. But no, you're thinking of a twunk. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, we have some questions for you, Murrlogic.
yeah, sure.
So these are some of your friends here. Mondays Weekly asks, ask Murr what inspired him to make the captain of the boat. Tell me about that.
Okay. So the boat is a running bit that I have every week with my friends because we do something similar to what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I go through different waifus like tissue paper, where I will obsess about a waifu for about like a day, and then like it's just popped out of my head. I'm like ADD when it comes to waifus. And
Yeah.
I forgot who made the bit one day, but like one day they were talking about how, this is starting to look like a Disney pleasure cruise with all of your waifus, and you forgot why they were even on there, but there was a brief moment in time you considered they being on the boat. My friend Aether once described it as the Noah's Ark of waifus. It's just imagine a boat the size of like the planet Earth, like a universal sized pleasure cruiser. And it's filled with all kinds of different waifus from all kinds of different anime, different shows, different concepts or
Whoa.
whatever. And Murr's like, there's so many waifus on this stupid fucking boat of yours that after the 40 days and 40 nights bit, you don't even remember why God, or whatever the closest equivalent to God, put that thought in your head going, why is this person on the boat? It's like, well, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah, you don't have
funny, yeah.
Noah complaining about how, look, I love horses, but I can only have 2 horses on the boat. I would like many horses on the boat, but God said 2. And well, those are the 2.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
Someone's gonna fucking draw that now. Just a boat full of just screaming blonde women that are all just complaining they're not at their destination yet, or the boat's not big enough.
Yeah. This person asks, your other friend, for Extreme asks, Murrlogic, which is your favorite Pokemon?
Slowbro.
Slowbro. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good choice.
Yeah. He gave me a Chinese SP called an Ambernick 34XXSP, and he put a bunch of Pokemon ROM hacks on this. And I played a playthrough of Yellow, Leaf Green, Emerald, and a bunch of ROM hacks in regards to that. And I learned that my new favorite Pokemon was actually not Primeape, it was Slowbro the entire time.
Whoa.
Because he's a tanky boy, and I love his doped up fucking face. I fish his ass out of the water from fucking the little water area on the way to the Indigo Plateau. I fucked him and was like, hi, buddy. You're going to be my friend for the remainder of the game. And he just, as both his eyes are just cross-eyed, just staring. It's like, I love him. He's my dopey boy.
Are you a big Nintendo guy?
Oh, well, when he gave me this Ambernick, I kind of had to be because I was... Look, the problem with how shitty the economy's been lately is that video games cost money unless you know how to pirate. Now, the problem with that is if you're going to want to pirate things, computers cost money.
Absolutely.
And high-end computers, when you want to get those big-end games that you got to pirate, they have a lot of DRM, or whatever the fuck you call it,
Yep.
and they eat up a lot of gigabytes. And it causes your computer to slow the fuck down. It causes your heatsink to fucking go out of sync. Anybody who's ever watched a fucking Bring It Studios video will tell you, is like, look, you kind of need your fan to be operating 24 hours a day if you want to play all these high-end games, even if they're shit. And, if you're going to pirate them, you need all that storage space.
Mm-hmm.
I have a modest computer that's good for Discord, and that's about it. And they were
Amen.
like, Mur, why the fuck would you want an Ambernick when you can just download ROMs on your computer? It's like, that is the fastest way for me to brick my fucking computer, and we're not doing that. He's like, Mur, have you ever considered the fact that you're fucking stupid? I'm like, every day.
Aw. That's so cool. Let's see. Let's check this canvas out. It's pretty good. I like these drawings. Oh, this is a really nice Pimp Sister.
You need to give her a giant SUV because something as little as Pim's sister needs something to make her feel protected.
Oh yeah, this little tiny character
Imagine
is
a
massive.
giant monster truck-sized Hummer just running over people's cars. Everybody's doing that Smiling Friends trademark run. She's screaming, "Get out of my way, you shits!"
Yeah.
Oh God, honestly, nobody in this town knows how to drive. Just run someone's house.
Yeah.
Charlie's in the back going, Pimmy, have you ever considered the fact that your sister's a bitch every fucking day? But I try to be supportive about her, Charlie.
Oh, there is one final question here. Someone, I forget who asked it earlier, but someone asked, "Do you have a favorite Smiling Friends character?"
Alan.
Oh, that's a good choice. I hear a lot of people say that. Yeah, yeah. He's a real fan
I
favorite.
am I am spraying this man with the dirty brown water. Oh my god, finally my paper clips. What the fuck? No, I do not want to play Burnout Revenge on the PS2. Put weed in my body and drink diet soda.
That's good. That's really good. Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you so much for being here, Murrlogic. This was really fun. I'm really glad you're so cool to talk to. I liked hearing about
Yeah.
your ideas a lot. It was actually really
You want me, I
interesting.
can do more of these.
Oh, I'd love to have you on again sometime. Yeah, this was a lot of cool fun. you know,
Yeah.
if you're ever amenable to it, definitely I'll hit you up.
Yeah, literally, I am a DM away. In fact, I might even invite you to the art stream. Afer, I know you could fucking hear me. You're probably just like another person in the art streamer. It's like, yes, we're gonna get to know our new best friend.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
But yeah, thank you everyone also for drawing. I'll be sure to send these to you, Murlogic. And that's it. Any final closing thoughts, guy?
Mr.
This was
Wonder
fun.
Bread Man, can you see my stuff?
What's it look like?
It's over here. Wait.
Which
Oh,
canvas is
you're
it
in
on?
the first one.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, in one of these.
Hold on. Whoa, this one up top, yeah. This is
Yeah.
good because you draw the green women. This is interesting.
Green. My friend Shaka is going
Yeah.
to because he loves green thing. He's gonna see that. He's like, Grimmer, green thing.
Yeah. I don't have any blonde women. This is the best I can do.
Yeah, you should give her a
It's my
giant
OC.
SUV. No,
Yeah.
safety first. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, a
I'll
giant
think
SUV
about
in
it.
the store, please. Just have her destroy it.
Yeah. Yep.
She'll drive a pink Hummer.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. A big Hummer H2 specifically. See, it's always Hummer H2s because Hummer H1s are military Hummers. Hummer H2s are the ones that were brought out in 2002 when we went through that weird period of time where people really wanted to buy big SUVs. The bigger, the better. GTA 3 even makes fucking fun of this, where one of the fucking Hummers you can get is called a Maibatsu monstrosity. It's a Hummer the size of a monster truck.
Whoa.
Yeah. So what if you can only get 3 miles to the gallon? I'm a mom, not a conservationist. I'm like, that 2004 energy. Where everyone was just like, no, I want a big house and a big car. I don't want to be the living embodiment of a Captain Planet stereotype. And the '08 recession, and everybody wanted to be a modest person. It's like, no, I want to live in a cuck pod by the WEF. I don't even want furniture. I just want a corner. Not even a large corner, a tiny corner. Yeah.
That's so fun. All right. Well, this was fun. We'll talk more later, Merlogic. This was great. But yeah, thank you everyone for drawing, and I'll see you next week. Next week we're gonna have on, I can't remember her name, the Henchman 21 artist here who does a lot of stuff. She does a lot of Venture Brothers stuff, and it'll be really great to talk to her as well. Looking forward to that. That'll be next Thursday. So please.
You should
please come by.
unironically, if you ever see Zach, tell him I said hi.
I will. I would definitely let him know that not only.
And then a DM from Zach is like, "You want to be on the show?"
Yeah. Hey, you want to meet the Wonder
Oh.
Bread?
Weirder people have been on that fucking show. Come on.
You'd
The
fit
fact
right
that
in.
Sam has not been on that show is a real testament. Is that they're not calling him nearly enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.